You have this pipe dream for 20 years, and then suddenly in 3 weeks, that pipe just bursted and it's no longer a pipe dream. You know what I mean? So certainly everything you can imagine in terms of the way my life has shifted in just a few days is 100% true. Everything is different than it was 3 weeks ago, and I'm grateful for it. I have no complaints. It's certainly a blessing, and I'll never look at it otherwise.
That's Jay Taj, also known as Jay Taj, sharing how it felt being a part of the Netflix hit show Rhythm and Flow Season 2, which just wrapped up. Jay was one of 14 selected for the show that sought out the next breakout hip hop star. No stranger to performing in front of crowds, Jay said performing in front of judges, however, a whole different ballgame.
The way I approached that was the same way I've approached everything that makes me nervous, and it is just kind of remembering this fight or flight reality of our instincts as human beings. You have a small period of time when your nerves are building up where you choose, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna fight, or I'm gonna run. And I'm gonna run usually leads to forgetting your lyrics, stumbling over your words, doing awkward movements on stage. And I've, been lucky enough to be performing for long enough to know that if you choose, I'm gonna do this. This is what I came here to do. I'm gonna do this. What's the worst that could happen? I do it and they don't like me. So what? Then I'll be okay.
And boy, was he more than okay. The second he said his name and heard it through the monitor, he knew he was right at home. Episode after episode, Jay impressed the superstar judges like Ludacris and DJ Khaled, and special judges like Eminem and Busta Rhymes, praising his caliber of talent.
But DJ Khaled was giving me feedback, and he said, congratulations, you deserve to be here. And that to me was like, I don't care what happens with this show. I have been questioning if I'm an imposter in this world of art and in this world of hip hop, because I've been doing it for 20 years and I've never quite broke this glass ceiling that has just always been there. And so for this man that everyone in hip hop looks up to, and everyone in hip hop and music in general, we revere this man for his accomplishments and his ability, more importantly, DJ Khaled's ability to identify talent. For him to look at me and my art and say something like, congratulations, you deserve to be here, greatest compliment I could have ever received. There were so many great things they said to me that I'll carry with me forever. You're polished, you're ready, you're a star. All these things are great. I love it. Thank you so much. But you deserve this? Nothing tops that.
In the end, Jay was runner-up, an outcome many didn't agree with. But being on that stage and being able to represent the Pacific Islander community is a feeling that surpasses winning.
The feedback that I've received from the world is obviously overwhelmingly positive, and it's overwhelmingly endearing. And I feel like people are embracing me for who I am just as much as they embrace me for what I do. But specifically, Polynesians, Micronesians, Melanesians from every corner of the world have found their way into my inbox. They have found their way into the commentary sections of every social media platform, and it's all love.
Jay purposely inserted moments of representation throughout the competition that went beyond his words.
I talked about being a Pacific Islander extensively on the show, but the show is 6 weeks of footage being crammed into 10 hours, right? So they chose the storylines that they chose, and I knew in the back of my mind, I've been a Pacific Islander my whole life. I know this story is hard to connect to if you don't know it, if you have no connection to it, if you're just an editor from the United States and you have no connection to the importance and the significance of Pacific Islanders in the world, why would you? You know what I'm saying? And I knew that before I went in. So the hats and the pins, and I made sure that the back of my head, I wasn't gonna get my head blasted until after the show. And I thought about it like, man, you know what they can't do? They can't cut out the back of my head. They can't cut out, the artwork that's on my hats. They can't cut out the pins that are on my chest. I know that there's ways I can communicate to my people in the world and tell them I'm one of you, and I'm here with you, and I'm not just here by myself, I'm here with my village. I did it through these mediums.
And since the show wrapped, Jay is the same Jay, just a lot more busier.
My life changed immediately, right? I think that conversations change. Even if they're conversations I've had in the past, the tone changes. The things I bring to the table are taken a little bit more seriously now.
And with the year coming to a close, what does 2025 have in store?
I continue this mission that got me to Rhythm and Flow in the first place. right? Number one, try to be a good human being and try to connect with people in a positive way and spread love in whatever way that I can. Continue to make art at a high level so that people can connect with it.
And 7 years ago, when I first interviewed Jay, he had dreams of coming to Guam, something that at the time seemed impossible. Now?
It's beyond possible. It's absolutely happening. And so we are in conversations with some of my, my family and my brothers over there at Crowns. And, what it is, we don't know yet, but we know for sure it is. And we're doing it. And we want to make sure that when we do it, it's done with respect. It's done with gratitude. It's done with care. And it's done in a way that is honorable. You know what I mean? I don't think me coming to Guam is about me. It's about Guam. And I want to come to a place that I've dreamed of coming since I was a little boy. And I've never had the opportunity. When I do come to Guam, I hope that I get to experience it in the way that I've always dreamed of. And that is to soak up, the energy and the spirit of my ancestors and to be able to leave something behind when I do make the trek back home that has just as much love and positivity as the culture that I've grown up to know and love. You know what I mean?
In knowing the island has a booming music community, he had this advice.
Is use what feels like a disadvantage as your advantage. To the artists on Guam, you have stories that no one else in the world has. And hip-hop is an art form where we tell our stories. You don't need to tell the Compton story. You don't need to tell the Long Beach story. You need to tell the Guam story. And I don't even know that story. So as a fan, if an artist got on a record, like my boy Jed, shout out to Jed, if an artist gets on a record and tells me something I've never heard before, I'm immediately a fan, which I was immediately a fan of him, right? And there's so many other artists on Guam that I love. As Pacific Islanders, it is in our DNA to travel and traverse into places we've never been before. And this is what we do. This is how we ended up on Guam. This is how we ended up all over the world because we were not afraid to voyage into places that seemed impossible to voyage into.
And to end?
To my people on Guam is thank you. Like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for accepting me, even though I feel so far away and I feel so distant. Everyone who's reached out in the DMs, everyone who's sent emails, who has messaged me on Facebook, I see it all. And when the Guam flags are spammed all in the messages, I see it. And when I find out you're my cousin's auntie's cousin, I see you, you are my family, and I'm grateful that you're grateful. And that is a reciprocated feeling. The gratitude is at an all-time high, that the love is there, and that the joy is there, and that I can be part of that. And I can't wait to see y'all.
We'll see you soon, Jay. Joan Aguon Charfauros, KUAM News.